Welcome, everybody, to Culture Craft, the show where we talk about creators throughout history, the culture that created them, and the culture that they helped create. Ooh. That might have been backwards.
No, that was perfect.
That was it.
Yeah, cool. I am Dave.
Yep.
And this week, I know nothing.
I am Ellie, and it could be argued that I always know nothing, but certainly this week.
It would be argued by me. I'm Ian. You know more than I do. It's the only reason I'm interested in you. You have no other characteristics.
No other qualifications. Nothing. I bring nothing else to the table. I'm just a worse Google.
My name is Ian, and I do know things. I'm hosting this episode, and I'm just going to be upfront, a little peek behind the scene. So that we recorded a version of this, I think, fully 2 years ago now or something, a long time ago.
I appreciate your honesty.
And we're rehashing, we're redoing it because we didn't know what we were doing back then, and we still don't really, but we spent money on these microphones. So we're going to do it again, and hopefully it works better and is listenable. But it does mean that some of the twists and turns about what this is are not going to work.
No, I don't remember anything.
Okay.
I don't know.
Remember anything about
just
this man.
we're running an interesting game in my head where, because I've gone back and listened to that to figure out what worked and didn't, as I rewrote the script, there were some things that y'all jumped in on that I'm so excited to see if you've forgotten about and have the same instincts about this time. Mm-hmm. So this is probably not helpful for the listener, but I'm really excited for this little mini game I'm playing. But how was your week? What's been going before we jump right in?
I don't know anything that's happening more than a week ago.
Yeah, okay.
If it happened more than a week ago, I don't remember it.
Well, that's good because
more than an hour ago, I don't remember it either.
Well, okay. I was going to say, because that's convenient, because he's just asking you what happened last week.
I don't know how I got here.
You have not been here an hour.
There was a man who had a hammer and he hit me with it.
Yeah.
And then I was here.
Ooh.
Is this good radio?
No.
I can tell you about what I did this week. This week, I conspired with a madman to draw up some plans to build a pulley outside of my third-story window to move about 300 boxes.
Yeah. So we live
to the ground floor.
We live about 50 feet above the ground and have to transport truly probably 300 boxes up what would be 55 steps. And Ellie has decided that we are crafting a pulley system.
Yes.
Cantilevered out the window, which generates torque. Depending on the load of the basket, it could just simply, because I'm the anchor. Right? We've discussed that we're gonna get climbing rope, run it through the belaying like harness thing, and I am gonna anchor. But if we fill that with like 200 pounds worth of boxes, which is probably 4 or 5 boxes, and then run it over like, if we do it wrong, which we will, because neither of us are engineers, it will simply launch me out the window.
Yes, this is true. What you don't know is that more advancements have been made, because Ian is not the madman who I've been conspiring with. Oh. The madman I've been conspiring with is the drug-addled artist downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Without whom this would never have happened, because it was until last night 1 against 1.
Yeah.
Ian made the mistake of telling Richard how dumb of a plan this was.
Yeah.
Without remembering that it was Richard who he was telling.
Yeah.
And now it is 2 against 1.
Yeah, solidly. Richard is so excited about this.
He's so excited.
It's a great plan.
Directly under our window is his garden, which he's now moving to the other side of the property, just so that we can drop a basket out of our window.
Yes.
Wonderful, man.
I know. I'm so excited.
Have you considered using a little parachute? When you guys were in elementary school, did you have to make a parachute for an egg?
You would be shocked what we have considered.
So
everything but carrying them down, carrying the boxes down the stairs.
Yes, that's the only thing I'm not willing to do.
I think the most trouble I ever got in as a kid was nearly blinding my brother Daniel, because we lived in a home where with a split level. So if you're on the second floor, there was a banister and you could look down on the first floor. And we would make little parachutes for our G.I. Joes and throw them down and parachute them down. And then Daniel got the brilliant idea, because we found a bungee cord with a hook, to invert it and launch them from the downstairs over the upstairs railing using the hook, and then see if they would parachute, which was a silly idea because they hit the ceiling every time at speed. And one time I thought I was ready. Daniel thought I was ready. I was not ready and didn't hook anything in and let go. And the hook caught my brother, who was upstairs, right in the eye and nearly blinded him. What were we talking about? Toilets. We're talking about toilets today.
Oh.
We're talking about the invention of toilets.
Fantastic.
We're going to get started now.
Okay.
We might die. So this is going into, I hope we upload this episode before we move, because I might be dead because of this.
Because
and I want
of the
it
pulley, or because of
the pull. No, because of the pulley.
Pulley
I want to
system,
be
yeah.
yeah.
Would you survive? Would you think you would survive a fall out of that window? Onto several boxes full of things like China.
It's 50 feet.
I think if you want a better way to murder him, you shouldn't have advertised it.
Yeah,
on the show.
That's true.
No, he's not gonna die.
I think they can make an argument that it was premeditated, though.
He's not gonna die.
I think I'm going to die. All right.
I think you're going to be
I
fine.
think it's fine.
Today.
He's gonna smash into a window.
Yeah, I do think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to go smashing into the wall. Yeah, I think I'm going to break the window.
Your face and body.
We're idiots. Why are we doing this?
I'm
okay.
so excited.
Well, hey, we're going to do it.
I'm so ready.
I really hope you film.
There's no part of Ellie that's joking.
I had a dream about what I was going to do, how I was going to build this, and I'm so ready.
Okay. All right. You can.
This is great.
I'm going to let you fully run with it so that when I die, it's murder. Because if I have a hand in it, Ian's an idiot and build it. No. Mm-hmm. I need to make it so that I was assured of my safety and I was killed. Okay. Today we are going to talk about 4 things. We're going to talk about poop. We're going to talk about toilets. Okay. We're going to talk about the church. And we're going to talk about the court of Queen Elizabeth I.
So it's just every episode.
Yeah. Our story starts with this just munchable piece right here.
And man, just
yeah.
That little hat is just like the dollop of whipped cream right on the top of that cake.
Yeah. So this man's name is Francois Rabelais.
I mean, great name, great man, great mustache.
What is the deal with that hat?
Where is it?
Where is it? Where is it affixed to
Where
his
is it
head?
going?
I don't know.
I feel like it's painted in a different art style.
Yeah. It's yeah. It seems like an afterthought.
Yeah, like somebody who spilled cubism on this painting.
Yeah. Well, this is Francois. He was a physician and an author, born sometime between 1483 and 1494 in Touraine, France. I don't do French, so I'm going to butcher some things.
Just pronounce it like you're from Western Pennsylvania.
I do this name because his father's name was Antoine, and I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounced it originally. It was just Antoine, right? Okay. Antoine was a seneschal. That's not relevant. I just wanted to say the word seneschal. I hear that word a lot. I've never known what it means, so I looked into it, and it doesn't mean anything. It just means a vaguely politically important person, like someone who's connected is a seneschal. I think there are some contexts where it's more specific with duties, but it's like, just get like esquire can mean a bunch of different things. You know, you're just like a legally significant person. It's like that. Anyway, off the rails already. As a young man, Francois decided he was going to join the Franciscan order of the Cordeliers. And wanted to get into joining the church and learning about the church and reading about God and stuff. It was very important. Everybody was super Catholic at this time. But in the early 1500s, Erasmus was doing his thing. What do you know about Erasmus?
Was he a wizard?
He was a theologian, a Dutch theologian. Right. He taught at Cambridge for a while. He was He wrote a lot of things, but one of the things he's known for, he was a humanist, a Christian humanist. What he did that was significant to Francois' life was write a commentary on the original Greek version of the Gospel of Luke. Okay? That was widely seen by the church as a bad move. Studying the Bible in its original languages of Hebrew and Greek was considered a heretical thing to do at the time.
Only Latin?
Only
Latin.
Latin. It could only have been taught in Latin.
Why does that make any sense to anyone?
Well, that is my question, dear co-host. Why do you think it was a big deal that Erasmus advocated for the studying the Bible in its original languages and not in Latin?
Is it legitimate answer? Is it because people could actually understand that language?
That is certainly part of it, but it's not that the general public had more of a chance of learning. It's just that everything was taught in Latin. Everything was controlled by the church. So Latin was the vehicle through which education and just church life was run, and it was all about control.
I love that they colonized the language.
Yeah. So following Erasmus's commentary, the Sorbonne, which is a theological college in Paris, at which young Francois was studying, decided to ban all Greek literature. Anything in Greek, immediately banned. Yeah. Banned the study of Greek in 1523.
Including the New Testament.
Yeah. A huge portion and the entirety of what makes the Bible a Christian faith is written in Greek. But yeah, no, can't do it. So this meant that Rabelais' Greek texts were confiscated, which made him very, very mad. He initially petitioned to transfer to a different order, hoping that it would be more lenient, but decided through lots of years of trying and getting frustrated at bucking the system to just leave monastic life behind him. So he left altogether, which earned him the lovely status of apostate, which held very real legal ramifications at the time.
Great.
Yeah.
I would love to be an apostate.
I think you are.
Am I?
I think most of the church would consider you an apostate.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a cool thing to be. I mean, if somebody would shout apostate at me on the street, I would just be thrilled.
Yeah.
I can do that for you sometime.
I need to be a stranger and they need to mean it. There needs to be vile.
I mean it.
So, Francois, I mean, he was trained as a monk, and monks really like to study. So his mind was working all the time, and he had showed a talent for medicine and decided he wanted to pursue work as a doctor or a surgeon. However, who ran the hospitals in France in the 1500s?
The church.
The church. And he was an apostate. So he couldn't even begin the journey of any formal training. He could not get into any institution. No hospital would even consider letting him volunteer. He was excommunicado. So instead, he went and made babies. He made a lot of babies. He had a lot of time to make up for being a monk for a while. So he made babies. And in 1536, Pope Paul III eventually absolved him of his crime, and he went on to study medicine, and he moved to Lyon, and he actually made a huge amount of medical contributions and surgery, but that's not why he matters to us today at all.
The Pope was just like, you obviously don't believe in birth control, so we'll let you back into the Catholic Church.
Yeah. He earned street cred by just, he did get married. He was a good Christian boy.
Pope Paul was one of the good ones.
Yeah. He became Jesus. Okay. I don't know enough about Pope Paul III to weigh in. It's just it's not. It's really not.
This is literally the first time I've ever heard that name. We've done this story before. That's the first time I've heard this name.
So, that's not why we care about Francois, although it was significant. But I wanted to paint the picture of Francois bucking the system, because he was very frustrated and he was very smart and he was very self-possessed. But everywhere he went trying to do good, he was met with resistance for things that he considered very foolish. And even though he was the son of a seneschal and a lawyer and an established man, being a monk for a while does not leave you with a lot of savings. So he was pretty destitute and now had kids to take care of. He paid for his family and funded his way through medical school by publishing a series of novels under a pseudonym, Al-Kofribas Nazir, which is an anagram of his real name, which is fun. And he created a series of 5 novels detailing the fantastical lives of Gargantua and Pantagruel, these 2 mythic giants. He published them through he published these like super guerrilla style through colportage, which was a popular means of distributing academic and mostly religious tracts and books. So book printing was a thing, but not widespread.
Not widely.
Yeah. So people would make pamphlets. It's like passing out zines in college campuses, you know? And he was able to make a living and make a name for himself under this pseudonym. And he had a lot of freedom to express himself because people didn't really know who he was. So he used these epic stories of these giants to tease out what would later and retrospectively be considered humanist ideologies, which are all about kind of poking fun at the high and mightiness of the established church. And it's referred to as degradation, bringing down what is considered pure and spiritual and noble back to a grounded sense of reality. And a lot of this has to do with our bodies not being a source of inherent shame. And this brand of, yeah, I mean, this is still very much a thing today in a lot of different,
so
especially
the church won that battle, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's gone through waves. Like the Gnostics before this had similar ideas, and then we kind of backed off. And the Christian faith has had different, ideas of the separation between like the Platonic ideal of a soul and the, value of a human body. But at this time in the 1500s, to be pure and noble and right was to be above and to have escaped the trappings of your of the flesh. This dude was not about it. He argued hard that fart jokes and discussing sex were not inherently immoral and in fact were a way of better appreciating our bodies and therefore our creator.
Yeah, the cedar rolls.
Yeah, and he poked fun through his literature at the church's condescension on anything related to the material or the bodily experience of mankind. And he eventually produced a work called the Pantagrueline Prognostications, which was a parody of astrological predictions that were being published around the same time. And it really cemented his work as a new literary philosophy, later referred to as Pantagruelism, which is all about like an eat, drink, and be merry outlook on life, which all the church literature at the time obviously did not have, right? So he was a Christian humanist. Christian humanists applied humanist principles to religious studies, advocating for a return to the original sources of the Christian faith. So this is where Erasmus comes in again. He really argued for bucking the broader church tradition and going back to the sources. So when the Anglican Church and the Protestant Reformation, flip those orders, came about, this writing found a new home and really kind of took off. All right.
Martin Luther was known for ripping ass.
So the early Protestants are all about the fart jokes.
Yeah. So there's a literary critic called Mikhail Bakhtin who writes a lot about Rabelais' work. And I'm going to quote from him saying, "It was appropriate to ridicule the king and clergy, to use dung and urine to degrade. This was not just to mock it was to unleash what Rabelais saw as the people's power to renew and regenerate the entire social system. It was the power of the people's festive carnival, a way to turn the official spectacle inside out and upside down just for a while, long enough to make an impression on the participating official stratum," which is a complicated way of the whole ethos of this literature is just fucking calm down. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. Yeah. It's okay, and I love it. So Bakhtin refers to this literary technique as the grotesque body and grotesquerie. And that specifically where deals with like literally fart jokes. There's a lot of themes of just like overeating and pooping and burping as like celebration. It's very bizarre. I'm not going to read quotes because it's all in French, but it is very strange.
Women's periods are still gross, though, right?
Yeah, they're not mentioned once. So those are of the devil, always have been. And all of this, it's worth noting, is directly...
If you would have got pregnant, if you would have been blessed by God to have a child,
the
devil...
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Wait, what? Are we getting off topic?
Yeah, no, we're backing off from that. So all of this is contextually being opposed.
Found the line, I think. You found it.
It is contextually being opposed by scholasticism, which was the dominant theological and philosophical method in medieval universities, characterized by rigorous dialectical reasoning and reliance on the authority of established church teachings, and shaming people into accepting Jesus, which is always effective, as we know.
It was such a drag to live anywhere ever before now. And it's a drag now.
You just even talk about it.
It is a drag now because I am going to start shaming you into believing in Jesus.
Okay. There was like a 10-minute period at some point in history where everything had to be good. And I wish I found that 10-minute period. It was...
I don't know that there was, my guy.
Yeah.
I think life is hard.
But I mean, this really sucks.
Yeah.
This version really sucks.
Yeah. Because it's so, it's very intense. Okay. So here's what we've established. There's a literary tradition burgeoning, that's poking fun at not only the beliefs and the attitudes of the established church, but also the way they choose to communicate and proliferate their teachings. And this is going to become important later because now we're going to introduce you to what this episode is actually about, which is toilets. I know we may have gotten off track there, but I promise it's relevant.
What?
So we're jumping ahead a little bit, a century or so, to the court of Queen Elizabeth. I realize I put the pictures out of order. This is not Queen Elizabeth.
Ooh.
Oh.
This is Game of This is Game of Thrones star Kit Harington's great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Kit Harington is one of those Harringtons?
Actually, for real, yes.
What?
Yeah.
Nepo baby.
I also love that I wasn't like, this guy's a Kit Harington. Like, Kit Harington's one of those.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. Look at that ruffle, though.
I know.
That's a good ruffle.
I'm really curious if he has like a extremely precision cut beard or if his chin is just a triangle.
No.
How do you get into one of those?
Into a ruff? Oh, I have some.
Oh, okay.
I can put you in a ruff.
I would like to.
I would like that too. They're in Orlando.
And they're in Orlando. You're remembering.
But you can make them.
I gave them to the school.
It feels
but
like.
I can make them.
Does it feel like being strangled all the time? Because it does not look comfortable.
I think they're very light.
Yeah, it's not.
What were they made from? Lace?
The lace, the edges would be lace for something, but the point was they kept your sweat and things separate from your clothes, so they would have just been a cotton or a linen
or like a muslin,
something. But of course, the wealthier you were, the more you wanted to show off that it could be a fine lace or something. But typically, the lace was just around the edge.
How much were they sweating?
Oh my God, all the time. They were caked in powder. They were never,
They were wearing just giant clothes.
Totally.
Oh God.
Okay.
All right. No, we can't get distracted by that.
So we are jumping ahead a century or so to the court of Queen Elizabeth I. And in that court, we are going to find a few things. A troubling smell, as we've discussed recently.
Established.
A lot of very...
Oh my gosh, we talk about toilets a lot.
We talk about poop a lot, certainly.
It's a very important thing.
Wow.
That's kind of what this whole guy is about, is that we all poop. And we all have to deal with poop somehow.
That's true.
All right.
We were not dealing with it well.
If we were a king or a queen, we wouldn't poop. We know that. We've established that.
Well, the Pope certainly doesn't poop.
The Pope doesn't poop, but kings and queens don't
poop.
poop.
And not the poop.
Thank you for that. I'm going to cherish that later. Okay. We are going to find a troubling smell. A lot of posh people caked with makeup and wearing ruffles. A desperate poor in terrible squalor.
That's the villain.
And an incredibly cheeky boy named Sir John Harrington. Sir John was born in 1561 in Kelston, Somerset, England. His father was a poet, also named John Harrington, and his mother was Isabella Markham. She was a gentlewoman of Queen Elizabeth I's privy chamber. Dave, what is a privy chamber?
It is the chamber that you go to for privacy.
Yeah.
Fucking for real?
Well, kind of.
I was making a really bad joke. Is it where you poop?
It's not where you poop. I thought you were going to say where you poop because that's what I thought a privy chamber was. It's not where you poop.
The Privy Council would be the group of people who are allowed into her most like private sanctum and her advisors, essentially.
So it is just like your private chamber.
It's your private chamber, but to be part of the privy chamber, it means you're one of the regent's homeboys. You know, you're in. And there were some privileges afforded to people in that chamber. One of which was that you could just enact the king or queen's orders without written authority. So you could just go to people and say, "Hey, the king said this," and they have to believe you.
Okay.
That never caused any problems.
What are you chuckling about?
It's where you get to finger bang Elizabeth.
That's all anyone was doing because she never got pregnant. So
finger blasting good king. We need to cut this. It's been building inside. Talk about privy chamber.
She's one of the most respected and peaceful leaders.
And that a wizard dude said that we should appreciate that she probably got finger blasted.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very humanist thing.
There was someone finger blasting.
If it's okay, if things are okay when they come out, it should be okay when things go in, and then out and in and out and in repeatedly.
If someone shows me the historical evidence that she was being. Never mind. I can't even say it.
I'll show it to you right now.
Somebody got her off at least one.
Look at that face.
Look at that. She deserves...
Someone was finger banging her.
She deserves some O's.
Everybody deserves some O's.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
All right.
I'm so sorry.
Look at those flowers strategically placed. You move those away, there's a finger bang bowl right in the front of that dress.
This is our worst episode we've ever done by far.
Legitimately just go to the back of the previous slide and let's all pretend the last 2 minutes didn't happen.
We might need to go back to the previous slide just in case you decide to cut out all the finger banging stuff.
All right.
You got me to say that. You got me to say it.
You did. That's so funny. Okay. So John Harrington's mother was a Markham, very connected family, part of the Queen's court and privy chamber, which means that John, for his entire life, was very, very connected. In fact, his entire life would circle around and be dependent on the whims and favors of Queen Elizabeth. He was educated at Eton and King's College in Cambridge and eventually married a granddaughter of Sir Edward Rogers, who was the comptroller and vice chamberlain of the household of Queen Elizabeth. Not very relevant, but I wanted to say comptroller. He was one of her godsons, which is exciting, except there were 102 of them.
Yeah, she had a lot.
There were a lot of them.
She was this is not gonna help. She was really into like bringing up young strapping men into her circle.
Yeah, she was.
Did she choose the
godsons?
The godsons?
I would hope so.
I'm
sure she was petitioned.
Yeah, she had favorites.
Yeah.
She certainly had favorites. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Harrington was a flighty, thoughtful, funny, witty little boy. He was not useful. So he was sent on several political missions. At one point sent to Ireland to help with a rebellion, did a terrible job. So he was constantly kind of on her shit list and off of it again. And he would always have to charm his way back in. And he was really good at making her laugh.
I mean, we got it.
It's too, if you keep referencing it, we have to keep it. There's no historical evidence that John Harrington finger banged Queen Elizabeth. I just want to put that out there.
I'm getting arrested.
There's no.
We are all getting arrested for this one.
Okay.
All right. We're
sending this one to your parents first, right? All right. So he was just kind of flitting about. He was a scholar at Cambridge off and on. He was working on different projects, but he liked to write and he wrote a lot of poems and he liked to make people laugh. And he could not be trusted with anything serious ever. Sometime in the late 1580s, Harrington translated a few sections of the epic Italian poem, Orlando Furioso, which features a paladin on Charlemagne's war against the Saracen army who falls in love, and it's a whole dramatic play. And his translation was considered so racy and provocative that it challenged Queen Elizabeth's strict moral codes. And I'm going to quote from you his translation just so you can see what we're talking about here. This is so racy that he lost his standing and was booted out of the court. And here I must tell you a thing that had it been in any other book would be laughed at, but here it must be taken seriously. You see, this lady had two such breasts as a man would wish to see in a woman, so full, so round, and so firm that they would seem to be the very seats of pleasure itself.
Well,
he shared that with other ladies of the court and got excommunicated.
I mean,
that's not. Little do you know, the tablet is wrong. That's just our wedding vows.
Just have the wrong window up. Okay. So he was banned.
Pretty hot.
Yeah, for sure. So he was banned. And he wanted to get his way back in. So he wrote some funny letters and he made people laugh. And eventually Elizabeth begrudgingly decided that I can't have you back in the court immediately. You have to be punished. So you are excommunicated until you complete the entire transcription and translation, which she thought this is going to take the rest of his life and he's not going to be a problem anymore.
Also, but you translated a book and it was too horny.
Yeah. Do the rest
you out. Translate the rest of the book so you can come
and
back.
give it to me immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
We know what she was into.
Yeah. So it took him 5 years, but he was back in action right away. We're going to jump ahead a little bit. So Harrington would then produce in 1596 what is now considered his most famous work. He's not a famous person, really. He's not often talked about, but we're getting to the crux of it. He wrote a piece entitled "A New Discourse Upon a Stale Subject: The Metamorphosis of Ajax." Now, the listeners have heard me say that this episode was about toilets. So based on that title, would you be able to guess what this piece is about?
One more time for me.
A new discourse upon a stale subject. The Metamorphosis of Ajax.
That dude needs to work on his titles.
I read this whole thing 1.5 times and it sucks. It sucks to read. I mean, it's amazing for what it is and what we'll talk about, but it's writing from this time. Is it about
toilets?
Part of it, yeah, for sure.
Well, at least
there's 80 pages on how much the Earl of Leicester sucks.
Well, yeah,
but it's also about toilets.
That dude does suck.
It's so funny. Okay.
What? Okay. Why Ajax?
We
get to that. Okay.
So there are a few puns in this title, but and I will come back to that in just a moment. But let me give some context for why we're talking about this.
Now he's going to tell me.
It's a very witty title.
It is.
I don't know why yet, but
here's
I know
13 reasons why this is the best goddamn title you've ever heard.
There's two. There's two different puns in it. The first one's pretty obvious. A new discourse upon a stale subject. He's talking about poop. Specifically old poop. And the Metamorphosis of Ajax is also a pun, and I'll explain it more in a bit. But at the time, a common reference to the place where you poop was called a jakes. So he's messing with the pronunciation of Ajax as Ajax. Yeah. Now, throughout history, up until and indeed well beyond this point, the primary method for dealing with poop was to simply throw it on the street and let the rain wash it. Or in the corners in was that the Louvre?
That was the Louvre.
Yeah, the French were no better at this time.
Why is that funny?
Okay. And if there's one thing we can be confident about folks in London in the 1500s, it's that they were very gross. They were gross as hell. They're encouraged by the growth of Protestantism. The church grew ever more suspicious of bathhouses and, in fact, the general practice of bathing.
Why did we let them call it?
Why does that sentence makes sense because bathhouses are where people congregate. And as the Catholic Church recently learned, if you let people talk to each other, you lose control. Right? And there was this weird dynamic of you can't bathe in public in the bathhouses, which is what most common people had access to. It's not like there was running water, because that's where people get up to no good and shenanigans. Those are often common, wells for centers for prostitution, for all kinds of stuff in societies all around the world. But they also at the same time really frowned on bathing privately because they said it encouraged vanity. So what are people to do? They just don't bathe is the problem. And
if you look and smell terrible, you won't feel good about yourself.
Doesn't matter though.
So do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. Like you walk outside and there's just piles of human shit.
Yeah. And
so
horse. Horse.
So
much horse shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
That's why brownstones in New York are built
high, because it was just a sea of
which was, I think, something everybody needs to remember.
Yeah, and that was so not long ago.
Yeah.
It's so recently.
Sooner than this.
Yeah.
Way
more recently than this. For sure. We lived in piles of poop for so long. All right.
They did it on purpose.
They chose this life. And they honestly did, because they were built in some places on Roman foundations, and the Romans had figured out running water and public sewer systems. Yeah. They were collecting city-wide urinals of like vats of people's piss just to use the acid from dehydrated pee as like a cement mix. Like they were so ahead of this. This was nothing to the Romans.
The medieval centuries were rough. Okay. They were a bad time.
And we went back to,
they didn't have the Catholic Church to tell them not to take baths. So they were wrong.
But here's what I love about this.
I will say the Catholic Church was also the only center for learning and medicine at the time.
Yeah.
So any good that was happening was coming from the Catholic Church. It's just
but
the bad was also happening.
And here's what's funny about that is there was a very good reason not to bathe. It's that all the water had shit in it. So like the church probably saved a lot of people's lives with these insane attitudes, but it has to be delivered through this strange moral lens, right? You can't be vain or impious. So you just don't bathe. And so you cake on all kinds of stuff on your face and you just roll on with it. Well, Mr. Harrington was really sick of all this. So he decided.
He's so dapper. Look at that man.
I just want for the record that 2 years ago I shared this picture and Dave's first response was, "What a fuckable triangle."
For that picture? I mean, it is a fuckable triangle. Now that you say that,
I really appreciate it.
No, I didn't say that.
This is a picture of Queen Elizabeth, who may or
fingerable triangle.
Okay. So, you might be asking yourselves.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Ellie and I are no longer friends, I think.
Yeah. So Harrington invented.
Too small.
She's got puffy shoulders.
Very puffy sleeves. Those
I feel like, I don't know.
Sleeves.
It doesn't feel right.
Oh, this is a picture of Orlando Furioso that I really liked, just because it has a picture of Harrington front and center.
Man, a dapper man.
I love.
And I think maybe he does have a triangle chin.
Yeah,
I love that you make the translation and then you put yourself on the cover.
Yes, I know. He didn't write the original piece.
That's so good.
So this is obviously a toilet, as you can see.
Those are fish.
Yeah, those are fish. That's true. Those are fish.
Or people pooped really different back then.
Those are indeed fish. Yeah, you're not wrong. To be fair, you're not going crazy. The fish are poetic. They are there to symbolize where the water goes.
How else would you know?
Because this probably wasn't colored in the original publishing, right? So he needed to imply water.
Okay.
Also, this is an incredibly difficult picture to decipher because it's all presented on a flat plane.
There's like...
So you sit...
Did they know what a vanishing point was?
I didn't know. Have you seen medieval artwork?
They figured it out by this point, right?
No. 1500, no.
Wait, when did they figure that out?
No, they definitely did.
Yeah,
Yeah, they definitely did. This is beginning of Renaissance. Yeah, you're right. But he didn't. But he did figure out that if you dump 7.5 gallons of water per flush, whatever you deposited in the small bowl underneath you is not there anymore. That's what he figured out. So that cistern of fish water contains so much.
Just take the small pool.
Yeah.
That's why there are fish in there. It's an actual fucking pond.
You just dump a lake worth of water every time you shit. And here's the best part. So he did actually install one of these. This is not just theoretical. He built it in his estate. He invited his friend Thomas something.
Are you telling us that Thomas something was the first person to poo in a toilet?
One of, for sure. His friend specifically requested to come visit to see, quote, "I want to see your shooting place," which is the range that he had on his land, and your shitting place. He said, your shooting place and your shitting place.
Thomas, he deserves a last name.
Yeah.
Thomas.
I'll find his last name. I'll put it in the notes.
A wit and a hero.
So he built one of these things. It was huge and monstrous. And here's the thing. There were no sewers. So there's a cistern of water on top. You poop in a bucket. You dump 7.5 gallons of water into that bucket. It then flushes down into another cistern, which still has to manually be emptied by someone and thrown outside on the street.
So basically he's like, all right, you take 2 lakes. You put one lake on top of the other lake and you poop into that lake.
Yeah. And then we dump both lakes into the tent.
Exactly.
This is the equivalent of like the computer from 1942. There's a 3-story building and catches on fire, but it adds up.
Yeah. But it does do the thing. That's true. It's the most, not even over-engineered. It's somehow over and under-engineered at the same time.
Also, we're laughing a lot at the 7.5 gallons.
Yeah.
I think American toilets until like 2002 used that much.
Oh, maybe. Oh, is that true? Because I did research what an actual modern toilet flush is, and it's less than a gallon.
It's less than a gallon now.
Yeah.
But I think if you find one of those, like if you go to like a house that has an old bathroom in it, you flush and it's just like, that's a waterfall that's happening.
Oh shit. Sorry, John.
Well, it can't be more than just fits
no, it's
to
still
the back
funny.
of the...
Yeah, whatever fits on like the back of a toilet.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I mean, it's I think like 4 gallons.
Okay, all right. That is a lot. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's been 500 years and we're not much better. My bad, John. I guess I'll write a letter to Kit Harrington and apologize. So also, I don't know what this
I think that's blessing.
I think it's poopery.
There's
a little vial next to the
pieces left
seat.
over, like IKEA.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you might ask, as I'm certain both of you know your scatological history very well, how come it took another 200 years for Alexander Cumming to invent the toilet we use today, which became ubiquitous only after Thomas Crapper redesigned it in the 1800s?
Cumming and Crapper.
Cumming and Crapper is pretty good names.
Because
for
we
toilet
needed
paper.
them to do it. Like specifically those two names.
So, Thomas Crapper. Yeah. It's also worth noting, as much as I tried desperately to verify, there's not any strong evidence to suggest that the reason we refer to like toilets as John's is because of John Harrington. I really wish it was that case. It is why we call them the Crapper, though, because of Thomas Crapper, for sure.
Now, thematically, the reason we had to go that long is because the church somehow intervened. This was just a blasphemous amount of water.
A blasphemous amount of water.
Well, that could be blessed and used to baptize babies.
I thought you were going to ask if that's why we call it Cumming.
No. So you're not actually all that wrong. I don't know if this is the church's fault, but at the time...
This isn't me. This is you.
This podcast does bad things
fault.
to you.
We need to run the tape back about Martin Luther King.
You kicked us down this.
I'm so much less embarrassed about being
No.
This is having
you should be more embarrassed.
a very negative effect on your psyche, this show.
I would much rather be on record for wanting to finger Black Queen Elizabeth.
And then, yeah.
I think that's a noble cause.
She probably needed it.
Yeah.
Or maybe she didn't because she had 102 godsons all up in there, just on rotation all day long. I don't know. So you're not totally wrong because the only problem with this design, although it is functional, is that it's a straight shoot from where the poop goes to where the poop lives.
Oh.
And it does not have the characteristic S or U bend that we see in the pipes. Yeah. Can one of you explain why that is important?
So that the poop doesn't come back out?
Not the poop.
The smell.
The smell
doesn't come back out.
The water lives in that little dip and forms a seal, and it cuts you off effectively. And they believed in miasmas at the time. So you weren't...
Snakes coming.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Snakes definitely. Snakes would have a harder time coming up this design, certainly.
Legitimately, I've never actually seen a snake in a toilet, but now that I know that that's true.
Yeah, it's possible.
I look every time. I do a snake check every time before I poop.
It's only smart because who knows what else is in there.
Yeah.
Know?
Do you guys not do that?
I don't blindly. I'm not usually thinking about snakes.
I don't think I blindly sit on a toilet. Yeah, I think I check. I get the lay of the land before committing.
I also live with 2 children who don't always flush, so I always look in the toilet before I sit on it.
That's very fair. Sorry to my kids for taking the heat for what is clearly not their fault. So his toilet just never really took off. Now, you might also be asking, dear Ian, why the hell did you take us through the life of Francois Rabelais first, only to get to John Harrington inventing the toilet?
It's just about John Harrington.
Yeah. I was laying the groundwork.
It turns out the reason it was delayed for 200 years because something Francois did.
No.
Oh,
Here's why this is significant. I promise I'm going to bring it all together now. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. The Metamorphosis of Ajax was a book that proposed a real engineering solution to a very real public health issue. But that's not all it is. It is hundreds of pages long. It includes hundreds of biblical quotations, at least 12 songs, dozens of poems, dozens of epigraphs, several full sermons, and managed to be such a fiery work of satire and political allegory that it earned Harrington another banning from the court. It is enormous and insane.
Does that diagram appear in it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Elizabeth Court had I don't know a lot about Queen Elizabeth, and my reading of John Harrington didn't illuminate all that much. But what it did talk about is that she had a rough go of getting the church to calm down after everything her father did,
and her sister.
Yeah. So she had a lot. They really prioritized an outward display of piety in her court. There's like a reason. Not only did she not have an heir, but virginity was often written about her, right? She was pure and virginal. And so everyone in her court was kind of expected to follow suit and be very outwardly pious and polished all the time, which is why writing about a woman's breast got him banned for a long time, right? So there was this air of polish and poise and moral decorum all the time that Sir Harrington railed against. And he really wanted to introduce his flushable toilet as a solution to a problem, but you can't just bring up shitting into this court or you get banned. So before he could propose his solution, he had to first write 100 pages of literary kind of explorations and sermons and poems and songs, establishing a biblical tradition of talking about piss, shit, cum, and puke, and how it was not inherently immoral to talk about our bodies first. So that's why I want to talk about Rabelais, because Harrington really leans in hard to Rabelaisian or grotesque fiction and literary tropes, because he's borrowing from that tradition because even just to say, look at this thing I made, it works and we should use it. Like, he had to first lay the foundation for why it was okay for him to even talk about it. He also did take the opportunity to just take snipes at people the whole time at the court. Again, there's 80 pages dedicated to lambasting the Earl of Leicester, and I don't know why.
Because he sucked.
Because he sucked.
Everyone knows that he sucked.
Honestly, what I could determine about that was that the Earl was very capable and Harrington was not. So the Earl kept getting the good jobs, the real actual like diplomatic and military work, and Harrington couldn't deliver. So they kind of hated each other the whole time. And Harrington felt like he was gatekeeping him from getting any of the real favors of the Queen. That's a big reason why. Okay, so I showed you this picture, which involves a guy sitting on his invention talking to Satan. And I'm just to give you a flavor of what comes out of this.
Exactly what it looks like when I use the bath.
I'm gonna read. Get out of me, devil. So it's full of things like this, which comes with an accompanying poem. And I'm going to try and read it with some of the Old English pronunciations so that you understand the rhyming structure, because otherwise it's insane.
Yeah.
A godly father sitting on a draft, to do as need and nature hath taught. Mumbled as was his manner certain prayers, and unto him the devil straight repairs. And boldly to revile him he begins, alleging that such prayers are deadly sins, and that he showed he was devoid of grace to speak to God from so unmeet a place. The reverent man, though at the first dismayed, yet strong in faith, to Satan thus he said, Thou damned spirit, wicked, false, and lying, despairing thine own good and ours envying, each take his due, and me thou canst not hurt. To God my prayer, I meant to thee the dirt. Pure prayer ascends to him that high doth sit. Down falls the filth for friends of health, hell more fit. So again,
do you think
prayers
maybe
go up to God, my poop goes down?
So this is the length and the like gymnastics he has to go through to introduce his toilet to the court of Queen Elizabeth.
Has to come and say to someone, "You can't pray to God sitting on a toilet," and the guy's like, "No,
exactly,
it's even better. The force I'm putting in propels my prayers."
Exactly.
I do have to say, some of the most heartfelt conversations I've ever had with the Lord have been on a toilet.
Dude, same. I love that.
I have made some bargains.
I love that whatever this bottle is here again. I don't know what it is, but it's
the important part.
Yeah, I still don't know. I don't know what it is.
I want to know why. Where's the hole?
Under his butthole.
It feels like it's just kind of there. Like it's not.
I want to be clear. It's dropping and flushing into another tank that someone else has to take outside and dump on the street.
Just not on the ground.
Yeah, for now.
So,
should we just do this not on the ground?
No concept yet of having it in its own room.
No.
It's just like, well, I mean, it takes a whole floor.
Yeah.
It takes a lake.
I think it is its own room vaguely, just because it's so big. But
okay. So
no, his whole idea was, hey, why don't we do this not on the floor?
Yeah.
Why don't we put this somewhere?
No, that's Satan talking.
So the first half of the metamorphosis of Ajax is him justifying why he should even be able to discuss the topic of poop in front of the court. So, with exegetical exploration, following Rabelais' style of citing all the times in the Bible that the writers discuss things that come out of your body. Arguing, therefore, that if the Bible itself can openly discuss the comings and goings of the body, it cannot be so impious a topic to be ignored by the court.
I think you mean the comings and goings of horses.
And, well, are you talking about the donkey?
Oh, is that a donkey? Fuck.
It's a donkey.
God damn. Fucking farm animals jizzing.
Yeah, he's talking about the donkey semen reference in the Bible.
Oh, they're hung like horses.
It's a separate guy. There's a dude who's hung like a horse, and there's another guy who comes like a donkey.
Yeah.
Amen.
Do donkeys come considerably more than horses? Because I assume that the horse is a bigger creature.
According to the Bible, yes.
But like the horse just has more space for their runners.
David Nee, I don't know.
Don't use my Christian name.
Okay.
My grandmother's going to listen to this.
And that's the part you're worried about.
Yeah. She loved getting finger busted.
Okay.
I have to put a sign over there behind the camera that says no finger blasting.
No fingers were blasted in the making of this podcast.
And the second section begins with this. It hath been in the former part hereof sufficiently proved that there is no obscenity or barbarism in words concerning our necessities. But now for the place where these necessities are to be done, perhaps some will object that it was never of that importance, but that it was left to each man's own care to provide for that which concerned his own peculiar necessity. So he starts to actually pivot. There's a longer quote, but I'm scrapping it because I can't even read it. So he wanted to challenge the court's culture and throughout this entire work. So one of the devices he uses throughout this whole piece is he's using a pseudonym called Misakmos, which is translated in two ways from Greek as hater of filth, and it also means lover of polish. So he does this clever thing throughout where he refers to himself, the author and designer of the toilet, as a hater of filth, and that is a noble thing. But he also uses the same name to refer to all of the members of the court he's addressing, but he uses the lover of polish translation, and which implies that, like, you don't hate filth, you love shine. Yeah. And those are not the same thing. And so the whole subtext of the piece is that the upper crust here has a moral obligation to take care of the poor and to care about actual things that matter, but they're so concerned with the outward appearance of piety and shine, and we live in literal piles of poop everywhere we go, and everyone smells awful and people are dying. And so there's this amazing, like, running device throughout. But he also used the opportunity to air all of his personal grievances as well.
Which does undercut some of the messaging.
It really does. So he had two cousins that he felt were very mistreated by the court at large, Thomas Markham and Ralph Sheldon. So he has these recurring characters throughout and he keeps talking about the stercus or excrement that was poisoning society. And he makes a bunch of references to what that excrement is libels against his cousins. So he has characters who just did the things that his cousins did in real life, and everyone is making fun of them and saying mean things about them. So again, what I love about this is like it's sermons and songs and poems setting up a toilet, and then 100 other pages of just him being like, and also you suck, and you're a piece of shit, and the Earl of Leicester sucks.
And my cousin is fighting.
And my cousin rules, and it's so funny. He references several of Rabelais' writings, and I just wanted to include a quick anecdote from it, or snippet from it, about a French gentleman who was depressed and treated his melancholy by taking 4 mysterious pills. And then he had to take a mighty poop. The man commanded his man, I'm quoting now, to mow half an acre of grass to use at the privy, i.e. to wipe. The man protested, saying that these were... So yes, he commanded his servant to mow half an acre of grass to generate hay that he could use to wipe because he had to take a mighty shit. All right? Just ride with it. The man didn't want to do this work. So he protests by saying, these were the fields of the ancient house of Ajax. And if you might remember from the story, Ajax goes mad and just keeps killing things until eventually he runs out of things to kill and he kills himself. And his blood curses the grass and creates the hyacinth plant, which is cool. So that's what he's referencing here.
Okay.
And the man in the story is undeterred, commanding his servant to harvest the hay for his butt, and says, a skite upon Ajax. The man in the story then immediately comes down with St. Andrew's fire all over his posterior, and he spends a decade traveling to Japan and China to seek remedies. I would love to know an Elizabethan courtier thinks Japan and China are. And it's just not clear in the story that I could find. And he finally is cured, and he, quote, I built a sumptuous privy, and in the most conspicuous place thereof, namely just over the door, he erected a statue of Ajax himself, with so grim a countenance that the aspect of it being full of terror was half as good as suppositories. And further to honor him, he changed the name of the house and called it after the name of his noble captain of the Greasy Ones, parentheses, the Grecians, I should say, Ajax. Though since by ill pronunciation and by a figure called cacophonia, the accent is changed and it is called a Jakes. So that's where the punny name comes from.
Great. Also, just
a dig at the Greeks.
Just like, that's a pro-racist right there.
Yeah,
like, you don't need to put that in. You could have gone through this story without it.
Yeah.
Got to get one dig in.
Yeah. All right. So the Earl of Leicester's name was Robert Dudley, by the way. Just putting that in there. Sure. So in terms of lasting legacy, there's two branches of this that I want to touch on for this episode. One, he continued Rabelasian satire, which is used to much more effective effect, I guess, by Thomas Swift, or Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift, in his works, and is a tradition being carried on by many people. And I love this example because it's so deeply petty. It's so, like, he built a real thing that we use widely all around the world now, but it was so not the point. It was just an excuse to talk shit about the court, and he got banned for it. He did eventually worm his way back into the graces of Queen Elizabeth while she was on her deathbed. And the last time she spoke with him, she said something to the effect, I don't have a quote, but the way it was written was, she essentially said, "I have lost in my old age the part of me that found you funny." It's so brutal. Yeah.
Oh.
It's very funny. So he went on after Queen Elizabeth died to remain in the court of James I, where he had a really rough go of it. His financial situation became really unsure. He stood surety for a relative's debt of £4,000. The relative did not pay, so he had to run away again. He was consistently critical of the wanton drunkenness and foolish antics of the court after Elizabeth, which is so funny because he was railing against Elizabeth's like piety, and then James I came in and
James I was a madman, though.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he did write like plays mocking James I, and he went on to become like a court jester.
I love.
Yeah,
his primary mode of criticizing people is just writing
plays about them.
Yeah, and putting ridiculous rants in his.
Yeah,
I do wonder if the relative who made him have to flee after not paying his debts was the cousin that he was.
Yeah, I honestly think it might have been. This is so funny, but I couldn't find it. So, in summary, he eventually died in relative obscurity. There's not really, his life didn't end with a bang in any meaningful way. So, not every episode that we do is going to be about someone who massively changed the world. He didn't even really invent the toilet. Alexander Cummings gets credit for that and should. But I wanted to touch on this brief moment in literary tradition of just like poking fun at the establishment by talking about fart jokes and poop.
I think that's much more important than his lake on top of another lake.
Yeah. And, our Secretary of Defense just quoted Pulp Fiction to give a sermon to all our military leaders. So we might need some of this satire in our society to poke holes again.
You say that the satire is the more important part, but scatological, to take a humanist view, scatological history is a real part of history, proved by yourself when the first episode that we had, the first question that you had was, where do they poop?
Yeah.
Like, this is a real thing that
it's a real concern
that we need to know how people did in the past.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
This is where they were in this time in history.
It is also frustrating that this was a solved problem 1,000 years before him.
Yes.
And we just forgot
more than that.
Or we ignored it.
And his didn't really take. It's not like every house, 100 years later had one of his toilets in it.
But it is something, right? Like, it is a very necessary step in rediscovering
It is.
And renormalizing it.
You get people to think about it. You're like, oh, so this is a thing that's possible. And then when someone else, the next person's like, I need to figure out a solution to all the poop in the corners. They're gonna go back to they're gonna be like, well, somebody wrote about that.
Yeah,
Who wrote about that? They're gonna pick up on it and they're gonna be like, well, maybe we can figure out a way to not have it need 2 entire lakes to get your poop out of the house.
Yeah.
As long as you're good with getting through these parts about the Earl.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I recommend reading it if you're ever bored and want to be confused. It's truly insane.
Well, they didn't have television then, so probably some ladies in waiting were sitting around reading this to Elizabeth and to all the. And so it was part National Geographic, part Real Housewives. It had everything. It was just channels.
And he was banned mostly by it. He was banished mostly because of the digs at the Earl of Leicester. That was really the part that wasn't too much for him.
I do really love ragging on the one guy who's like good at his
job.
because he sucks.
Jealous.
Yeah. That's really what it is.
He doesn't even make you laugh. Which I'm assuming.
That's all Harrington had.
Was his main critique.
Yeah. Oh God, I must have cut so bad when she said that on her on her deathbed.
I'm about 7 years away from my mother saying that to me. I think.
Oh no! I've outgrown the part of me that finds you funny. Yeah, there's a lot there.
Well, I mean, maybe have her listen to this episode.
No.
A little different.
Well, yeah, that's all I got about John Harrington.
Yeah, that's very good. And then the most important thing he did was procreate.
Yeah, and give us
Jon
Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's write Kit. Let him know.
Yeah, right. Kit. Yeah, right. Kit.
I'll just text him. Right now.
Yeah, reach out to Kit. Yeah. Have his people call our people.
Talk to your friend Kit.
Yeah.
We'll bring him on. So look forward to that. Kit Harrington, friend of the pod.
Oh God. Yeah. All right. Next week is going to be another Culture Critters. So I'm very excited about that.
It's really Culture.
It's really actually called Culture Critters.
Congratulations,
guys! I got a juicy one next week. I got a juicy one for you, and I got a banger for you. But okay, thank you for this.
Oh, Ian,
finger banger. No, somebody say something else.
Okay, love you. Okay, love you. Bye.